What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to The Good, the Bad and the Stupid. It's Tuesday the 10th of December. It's getting close, and I don't mean Christmas. I'm talking about Election Day. It's 2 days away, and people are getting excited. People are getting that excited that they're getting angry. And not only are they getting angry, they're talking about punching each other. In fact, they're actually lying about punching each other, because a Tory representative who was with Matt Hancock when they visited the Leeds hospital where the scandal about the boy lying on the floor in A&E, said that a Labour activist punched him as he walked into the hospital, but the evidence shows that he actually walked into him, so if anything he assaulted him. So the mud slinging and people are getting cheap digs. There was a lot of climate change protesters that have glued themselves to one of the Tory campaign buses. That's quite funny. I always wondered what glue they're using, because that's got to be painful, hasn't it? I wonder if they're using like the old Bostik super glue. That could be like a good advertisement for Bostik. They should be sponsoring the climate change protests sponsored by Bostik. You know, remember that guy who used to be glued to the big board, and they show how strong it was because they'd attach it to a helicopter and fly it around the country. He always survived, so that's how strong the Bostik was, but you don't hear about it no more. Probably health and safety, but these guys are going for it because they glued themselves to the front of the bus so they couldn't go anywhere, and they were dressed as bees, so they're highlighting the plight of the bees as well. And LBC Radio have said, asked the question, is this the right way to protest? It's probably not the right way to protest, but at the same time it's certainly a funny way to protest, because it's made me laugh and it's made the news and it's highlighted climate change. So some of them might even be Tory supporters, but they want to hear you talk more about climate change on your agenda, which you're not doing. So talk about climate change. Storm Brendan's here. Oh yes, because I know this, because today I've invented a new form of exercise, and it's called skintercise. And basically what it is chasing a £10 note that's just flew out of your hand down the street, trying to catch it like a fucking wayward butterfly. If you've ever seen that programme, the episode of Only Fools and Horses, where they're chasing the £3,000 butterfly around trying to catch it, it was like that, but unfortunately mine was just for a £10 note. But I needed that money just as much as I needed the exercise, so it was all good. I can highly recommend it. Just use low dominations, because I nearly never caught it. Where are we going? Oh, anger at the rip-off car parking fee. I hate this, car parking charges at the hospitals. I think Labour have said they're going to squash this, but I don't think Tories have. I mean, it's a profiteering thing, isn't it? It's a make money thing. But I can't think of anything worse than and the charges ain't cheap either. The car parks at the hospitals are about something like £3.50 an hour or something ridiculous like that. What about if you're like visiting someone who's like, which most people are, very, very ill, but I mean like that, you know, that they're in there for weeks, for hours, you know, all day for weeks. How many, you have to sort of limit yourself to how many hours you're allowed to visit, you can afford to visit them. It's fucking wrong. You know, I mean, remember when my nan was in hospital and my granddad had to park right down the fucking street, because he's clever, he's savvy, he was parking in the free parking like I was, but at the same time, which is still 3/4 of a mile down the road, but it just meant that you could afford to spend more time in the hospital without sweating on the price of the fucking car park tickets. So yeah, I think that's all wrong, especially the staff have to pay it as well. So I mean, I don't care who's in power, but that something like that is just wrong, and you got to take the profiteering out of the NHS, haven't you? I guess that's the only way you're going to sort of deal with that sort of thing. I mean, where does the money go? If someone shows that the money's going back into the equipment and that, then maybe I'll shut my face, but I bet it isn't. Oh, funny thing today, Walmart, Christmas jumpers. Walmart, the American shop brand or whatever it is, shopping store, they've had to pull a Christmas jumper off their website because it shows a Santa. You know, the Christmas knitted jumpers, it's a picture of Santa sniffing lines of cocaine. So it's like, I'm not saying that's funny, it's a funny jumper, it's a funny thing that they've somehow let slip through the net, and it's made its way onto their website, and they've probably sold quite a few as well. But it's basically a little sort of shit looking Santa Claus with a table with 3 lines of cocaine, and he's got like a straw in his hand. So if you want one, or you know somebody who might like one of those jumpers, then get on there, because they might not have deleted it yet. If not, then you'll probably find it somewhere else, because I imagine they're going to fly off the shelves now that they've pretty much gave it free publicity. As again, it might probably say something like "Let It Snow" on there as well, or something ridiculous like that. Again, as I said, I'm not condoning anything. All I'm condoning is funny jumpers and faux pas like that. That's a fashion faux pas, if you like. But you know, it's all a bit of fun, isn't it? What's he called? Kirk Douglas. Guess how old Kirk Douglas is? Well, I can't hear you, so I'm going to tell you. It's 103. He's 103, and he looks good for 103. He looks alive for 103. Therefore, he looks good for 103. But you know, he's standing up and stuff, and he's sitting on Catherine Zeta-Jones's lap there. So you know, I think he's living his life, he's living in the moment right there and there. So good for him. Hopefully he has many more, because Spartacus. Are you old enough to remember Spartacus? I'm Spartacus. I'm Spartacus. When everybody everybody takes the blame. Everybody says that they're Spartacus, so they don't know which one is Spartacus. Fucking hell. Explain it properly, Wayne. I'm trying to think of a modern version that you could use that for, where somebody's taking the blame for you, but pretty much nobody does that these days, do they? They throw you under the bus and go, it was him, Philip Schofield. Definitely wouldn't fucking do it. Telltale Philip Schofield. He wouldn't be standing up saying, I'm Spartacus. He'd be going, he did it. Get myself some more brownie badges. Apparently he's been, some of his colleagues are not happy with him or his effect or his attitude around the TV studio. So it's not just me saying he's a bit stuck up. He used to be down to earth. He used to be like in the cupboard with Gordon the Gopher. He used to be like, you know, down with the kids' TV and stuff. But now he's all getting a bit high and mighty. I think he needs to sort of check back as to where he's come from. Who put him there? Put him where? This morning. Don't watch it anyway. So, but anyway, his colleagues are not happy with him. They're trying to get in the boot, I think. So watch his space. Philip Schofield could be coming to a job centre near you and then going, oh, God, why did I vote Tory? Billionaire Tesla chief Elon Musk has drove pals to a posh Los Angeles restaurant in his new electric super truck. Oh, yeah, he ran over a parking sign, so he doesn't know how to drive it properly. But it's fucking bang on, that truck is, isn't it? You've seen it, the Tesla super truck. That is my kind of car. I like old cars anyway. I like the old Volvos and the old square line, you know, classic cars from like the 80s and stuff and the 70s. You know, it's all square and boxy and all that kind of stuff. And that's kind of that kind of thing, you know, going back to the 80s when they were trying to be futuristic, you know, like the Knight Rider and stuff like that. Anyway, it's got unbreakable glass, so there's going to be a lot of drug dealers buying them. 30 grand, that's nothing really for a car, is it? For a, you know, like a special kind of one-off type of car. It looks like a prototype, but it's 30 grand. So these could be the new. There could be plenty of these on the streets, really. They're coming on sale in 2021. Hopefully, come on, start chipping into this podcast. Maybe I can buy one and I'll drive it around and show everybody what. Let's do one of these GoFundMe pages. You know, when people GoFundMe because they want something really ridiculous like a holiday or something that they should, and people come out of the woodwork and start sending them money. I don't get it. It's really fucking really weird how people manage to raise money. I think you just got to have the balls to, or be brazen enough to ask the question. But I wouldn't ask the question. I would never ask people to raise money that way, not unless it was fucking really meaningful. Yeah, so anyway, what was I going to say? But the guy, I don't know if I mentioned this the other day, but pedo guy lost his trial. I couldn't believe it. I thought that was a fucking dead cert. That was stamped, signed, sealed and delivered, that money was, back to him, because Elon Musk called him a pedo guy. I think I did speak about it. But the jury ruled that it wasn't specifically aimed at him, or they agreed that he couldn't have said it was definitely him that he was talking about. That's fucking bullshit. I mean, I can imagine half of that jury are now going to be driving around in one of these cyber trucks like a guy who's mentioned it on one of my video links. I forget his name now, but it's quite funny. He said that I bet all the jury and all the what's it called, the solicitors or whatever, and the judge are all driving around in a new super truck now. So thanks for that quip. I quite like it, and I've used it in the podcast. So come check it out. I don't know if he watches it or not. Banksy's put a new Banksy's come up in Birmingham. I don't know if we had one before, but Birmingham's got a Banksy reindeer, Christmas Banksy, and I've got it attached, as it looks like it's attached to a bench where a homeless guy's sleeping on the bench, and he looks like a sleigh. It's really clever what they've done, but I don't know whether the homeless guy's a stooge or whether they've snuck up on him and sprayed it whilst he's lying there. But anyway, it's a sad picture at the same time that it makes the picture really poignant. So because there's plenty of people sleeping on the streets around Birmingham, and it's pretty grim around the city centre. Some of the places where they're having to dwell, and there's been numerous cases of people dying, you know, in the graveyard and around the back of the bus depot and whatever else. I think, there's a big thing this time last year where a guy was, you know, he was. I think he died in the freezing cold when the temperature changed and everything. So yeah, I think he's put it there to support people who are supporting the homeless charities, which should be the government, of course. There shouldn't be homeless charities. There should be fucking... As soon as there should be billionaires. Where's the billionaire? If there's 150 billionaires in the world, in the country, beg your pardon, not in the world, one of those billionaires should be fucking dealing with homelessness. So if there's a billionaire watching this with any kind of morality, get onto it. I'll do it when I become a billionaire. I promise it's never going to happen, but I'll fucking do my best anyway. Amanda Holden. Oh yeah, I've done that one. Amanda Holden's back in the campaign against Philip Schofield. She says they've opened a can of worms now, dealing with when somebody's complained about him, because everyone's starting to go, oh, I've got a gripe with Philip Schofield. Sugary breakfast cereals face being banished to the top shelves like porn. Kellogg's Frosties and Choco Pillows, Choc Pillows, never heard of them ones. Frosted Flakes, Cocoa Pops, all them, they're all going to the top shelf like porn mags. They're calling them porn flakes because they're not good for you basically, and they've got high sugar and high whatever. And the kids are just like, that's basically drugs to a child, isn't it? So they're fucking craving the colours and the, you know, what's his name? Tony the Tiger and the Honey Monster and all that kind of stuff. They're all like, what's the word? Hypnotised by them. And they're gagging for the sugar. As soon as you get older that you start like enjoying porridge and that. And I eat porridge, I do, and it's like, you know, it's kind of like, it's the healthy thing, but a kid ain't going to be into porridge, is he? The kid's like going to cry his eyes out if you try and give a kid porridge. There's a picture of a giraffe here. I thought I'd just say there's a picture of a giraffe with a bent neck. I can't. I've stopped showing people the pictures, so because it's not fair on you on the podcast, is it? I'm going to show it you. It's a picture of a giraffe with a fucking kink in its neck. Look, looks like he's swallowed something. Maybe he's got like I don't know, an apple. That's his apple or something. I don't know what it is, but anyway, he looks like he's dealing with it. He's happy. I don't know how old is he. It doesn't even say. They're calling him the wonky neck. I don't know what they're calling him. Forget it. I thought it was a funny picture. That's just killed me, that one. Let's move on. It's a giraffe with a wonky neck for Christmas. That's all I'm going to say. What was I going to say? US food website promoting classic British Christmas treats was ridiculed yesterday after making mince pies using minced meat. So they use meat in mince pies. So they obviously don't know what they were doing, and they're getting ridiculed by English chefs and English people online. Well, it's confusing enough for us. I think I didn't realise that at first when I was younger. Mince meat or mince meat, it's the same fucking thing, isn't it? You'd think the name, it looks similar, but one of them is a meat version, savoury, and one of them is the sweet version now because they've just created something. So maybe they can do their American version of the English classic with minced meat. I'd have to use it with the soya meat because I don't eat meat. So there you go. There's a third version. veggie mince meat, Christmas pies. Fucking hell, my brain's not working now. I'm flagging. I think it's the wind's got in between my ears. The wind's still in there. I can hear it blowing around. Blokes are more vain than women with their online posts. Men on average post 10 selfies a week compared to just 8 for women. Every year we put out an average of 468 pictures of ourselves online, and according to a poll, men are particular about how they look. People put pictures on right loads of shit, don't they? But I used to do that. You know, trying to get the picture perfect. You're never ever fucking going to be happy with it. You're never going to get it perfect. The best way is just to bang it and just put it out and just say fuck it, because that's how people see you anyway. So if you think you're all like looking at a funny angle and everything, you always look that way. It's the same as me doing this with this podcast. I just think fuck it. I can't be bothered with editing it. I think better to just put it out, warts and all, you know. Because sometimes that's the good stuff. Not always. Most of the time it's shit and you're thinking, this podcast is a right load of bollocks. Let's turn it off. But every now and then you'll get a bit of a nugget, a golden nugget, should I say. Not like the fucking 80 grand one that was found in Scotland. More of a few pence worth of funny or entertaining quips that I might come out with. Anyway, holidaymakers are nicking mattresses from the 5-star hotels in the dead of the night. That's like trying to get your money's worth, isn't it? Luxury bedding, which can cost thousands of pounds, is being sneaked out of resorts because of their size. Because of their size, most bed thefts happen at the hotels with lifts, then descend directly into the underground car park. They can't be doing that from their own rooms, is it? Because it's got their name fucking attached to it. And if your bed's missing, or your mattress, you must be sneaking into other empty rooms or something. That's all right. If you're clever, you're not like, pretty much getting caught red-handed, because there's going to have CCTV and everything on there, isn't there? But just it defies the. If you're staying in a 5-star hotel anyway, then surely you've got money to afford your own stuff. If you're staying in a 5-star hotel and you're skint, then you're stupid enough to be there in the first place. You might as well just walk in and pretend to be staying at the hotel and then nick the mattresses. That's the best way. And stay in a Travelodge down the road. Where are we going? I'm going to... Playing in a brass band relieves stress, helps you make friends, and can give you the lungs as efficient as an elite athlete, apparently, according to Sheffield University. Where was Brastoff filmed? Was that meant to be Stoke-on-Trent or Sheffield? I thought it was Sheffield. So yeah, they're quite the Sheffield, like a colliery band, wasn't it? Like from the mines, down the coal mines. They always had a brass band, didn't they? Great film that was, really moving. Pete Postlethwaite, one of the best actors this country's ever produced. If Pete Postlethwaite could always bring a tear to your eyes with his performances in that Brastoff, and also in what's the one about the IRA suspects, or the Guildford Four? What was it about? What was it called? In the Name of the Father. Brilliant acting in that. So sad. He's dead now, isn't he? But he was an amazing actor. Anyway, so yeah, playing in a brass band. If you want something to do, social circle. Might not be your cup of tea, but you're going to meet people, and you can blow each other's trumpets all night long. Hear, hear. Make that your New Year's resolution. Learn to play an instrument. I'd love to play an instrument. I remember my next door neighbour when I was a kid growing up. My next door neighbour was learning to play the trumpet. I hope he's a fucking trumpet player in a brass band now, because he used to do my head in with that thing every day. But if he went on to continue to use it, that's fine. But if he did it and it just became somebody who sits in the pub, wastes his life away, then I'm a bit pissed off, because he'd done nothing but screw my head up with that in the middle of the night. Right, I'm going to finish up on one more thing, will I? I'm going to finish up on two more things. No, I'm going to finish up on this. Where was it gone? Oh, where's it gone? Oh, we talked the other week. I forgot to talk about this the other day. I talked about this. There was a guy who was getting all arsey about people misspelling signs, road signs, and shop signs, and he was part of an apostrophe protection society, and people who correct and grammar correct people and they're all sort of like in this weird club, and they all sort of agree that it pisses each other off, and they write letters of support to each other. And there was a bit in the paper that was all different other kind of weird clubs that you can join. So if you want to join the brass band, there's one. That's not weird. That's quite good. Sounds like fun. But there's some others here, and there's the Roundabout Appreciation Society. People who get together who love their who talk about the different sort of roundabouts they've got in their towns. I mean, that's fucking odd in itself, isn't it? They publish calendars and everything. So if you like to have a calendar of different landmarks and roundabouts, get in touch with the Roundabout Appreciation Society. Other ones are what's this one called? The test. Remember the test card? The girl sitting with the when there wasn't a TV program on. You had the girl with the blackboard and the little what's it called? A cuddly toy. And it was called a test card. Well, because people missed it that much, they formed the test card circle, which loads of people have joined, and they all like send each other Christmas cards and gifts and share music and stuff. So they're a bit like cuckoo. There's the Pylon Society, the Pylon Appreciation Society. I don't need to tell you about that. Carnivorous Plant Society. So there's plenty more than the Venus flytrap by the sounds of it, because otherwise that's your only plant, isn't it? Your only thing to talk about. So the Carnivorous Plant Society. These are a little bit twee for me. I think I need a little bit more, something a little bit more fucking, a bit more hardcore. I can't tell you what kind of thing, but what else? The Letterbox Society. Okay, now, and there's the dull. Oh, there's another one that they go. The Pillars of Society, they go around checking on all the post boxes around the country and making sure they're all up to date, and 100,000 examples, and the club has 800 members. I'm not going to be joining any of these, especially this one, which I'm going to finish up on, the Dull Men's Club. It has 5,000 members, and it's basically people who celebrate their ordinariness, and they talk about their collections, and people who love to study drain covers and collect traffic cones, amongst many other boring traits and hobbies. So yeah, if you think of anything, if you're sitting at home thinking, twiddling your thumbs where to go and what to do with yourself, don't pick one of those, because you're going to become a fucking stranger of society. Go and find something exciting to do, like I'm going to do right now. I've got plenty to do, so I'm going to move on, and hopefully you've enjoyed it. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye bye.